You have a collect call from. Press 1 to accept charges. Hey, you guys, and welcome to Press 1 Podcast. I'm your host, the Queen Carter, and today we have a guest by the name of KD. How you doing, KD?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. So, let us know a little bit about yourself.
Like what?
Like, where you from?
Well, I grew up on the West Bank,
Okay.
west side of New Orleans, Mm-hmm. Over in Terrytown, lived in Harvey, Gretna. I lived on the whole West Bank, really.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
So how do you like the West Bank compared to the other side?
It used to be with a until everybody from the other side moved on the West Bank. Yeah, it is what it is.
I guess you would know, right?
Yeah.
So you were here for Katrina?
I left for Katrina, but I was still living on the West Bank during Katrina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think I was in Jackson Landing around that time.
Oh, so did you know that the storm was coming, or why were you not?
We knew the storm was coming, but every time a storm came, we just jumped states for like a day or two and then come back. So that time we was planning on leaving for like a day, just driving out there to Texas and coming back right after the storm. So we didn't even take nothing with us.
Yeah.
And that shit hit and we were stuck in Texas.
Oh, damn.
With nothing.
Yeah, so did you lose everything?
Not everything, but yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Everything did get flooded on kind of like the lower half.
You were staying in Terrytown at the time, or?
Jackson Landing, that was in Algiers.
Oh, Algiers. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Algiers got pretty damaged. Right. Okay. So what about your upbringing? So did you live in a 2-parent home?
Not necessarily. I did live in a home where my grandma was still in the home though.
Okay.
Like, my dad, he was a truck driver. So he was kind of like constantly on the road and stuff. And he didn't stay with us anyway. But my mom, she worked a lot. So, she was always at work. So she kind of raised herself.
Okay. How many siblings do you have, and how many did you live with?
I got 2 siblings. I got a sister and a half brother. I live with my sister.
Okay.
Half brother stayed with my dad.
Yeah. So he's on the road with your dad?
Nah, he used to be at home with his mama.
Oh, okay. Also different mom.
Yeah.
He said half brother. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, so just let us know a little bit about your journey to running in with the law. So like, were you going to school?
Well, it was like, when I was younger, I was like a nerd. So, I was always inside reading books, encyclopedias, and doing science experiments, trying to build rocket ships in the garage and shit.
That's good.
But my mom, she was the only girl out of 4 children, right?
Okay.
So, and all her brothers were straight up gangsters. They was in the streets. So, she was like, you always inside. You need to go outside and have fun. You're a boy. You need to go outside and play. Go get in a little trouble. Not too much, but go get in some trouble. It's like when she told me that, I was in trouble every day since.
Okay.
So, my first time actually like running into the police, I would say when I was 16. And it was me, 2 of my cousins, and a friend of ours. We was on our way to the lake. We was about to go smoke. So, we had our cigars, we had our little smoke and shit. Around that time, you get like, I think it was like 5 for 20 or something, Reggie. So we got like 2 5 for 20s. We got 10 cigars. It was the Optimals, the ones that came in a white box around that time. They all came boxed individually. And we on our way to the lake. And we decided to pass through Kenner by the warehouse, because they had a club called the Warehouse at that time where they used to throw like phone parties and stuff. So we passing by the warehouse. It was like, soon as we passed by that warehouse, we was in a drop top Mustang. And it was cherry red. And my cousin, she was driving. She was, I think she was like 18 at the time. And she had this hoodie on. So when we driving past, it's like all they see is 4 youngsters in a drop top convertible sports car. Yeah. So they pulled us over. I'm talking about they had like 5 regular cars, like 2 blacked out cars, and like 2 SUVs that came from the front. They all cut us off, cornered us, and pulled us into the gas station. And
was there a reason for that? Like, was there something going on?
I just told you the reason.
Yeah,
just seen 4 youngsters.
I mean, like in the area, like maybe it was.
It's Kenner.
Yeah.
is Kenner. And you know, you got 4 black kids.
They went on the radio like 4 black kids.
The first question they asked was, where did you steal a car from?
Yeah.
You heard me? Guns drawn. They got guns at our head. Where did y'all steal a car from?
Yeah.
And she trying to tell him, it's my car, it's my car. Like, you know, she a prep. Like, she was spoiled from a young age. So she always had top of the line cars at an early age. And, you know, we used to ride around doing our thing.
Yeah.
That was our first time taking that route to go to the lake, though. We normally go the other way. So, yeah, they pull us over. They pull us out the car. They're like, where'd you steal the car from? We like, it's her car. And around that time, like, you know, I used to wear, like, the big chains. I used to always have a bandana on, had the grill in my mouth and all that kind of shit. So they looking at us like, you know, we just straight drug dealers, gangbangers.
Yeah.
And little do they know, like, you know, it ain't even like that. I was just a rapper around that time. Like, I was a rapper from a young age. So I like the rapper image, because if you're going to do something, you need to embody it fully.
Yeah.
So I was a rapper. So we at the back of the car, and the cop, like, long story short, they found the weed under the mat, because my cousin threw it under the mat right there on the floor, like, just panicked.
Yeah.
So they found the weed, and they like, he asked me, like, is your weed, huh? He like, I know it's for you. I know it's for you. He like, open your mouth. Nah, mind you, like I said, I ain't no street nigga. I don't know what the fuck he talking about. He like, open your mouth. I'm thinking he want to see the grill. So I'm up there like, all in his face and shit, and he got mad. And I couldn't understand his frustration. He like,
that's funny.
He like, nah, open your fucking mouth. And then it kind of clicked. He like, oh, he want me to open my mouth. He like, yeah, lift up your tongue, all that kind of shit. And it kind of clicked like he looking for something else. I'm up there grilling this man. This man mad. He like, that boy grabbed me by the back of my neck. He like, I ain't your fucking daddy. I'll beat the fuck out you. I'll smash your head into the back of this car. Open your fucking mouth. And that's when it clicked. I'm like, okay, it's something different. But nah, long story short, I was only 16 at that time. So me and my cousin, we ended up going to truancy. My other cousin, she ended up going to jail because she was 18. Yeah. So, you know, she kind of caught the blunt end of that shit.
How long were you in truancy?
A couple of hours.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay.
My mama was over there as soon as she got the call. You know what I mean? But that was the first time I got in.
So how did your mom act to you having the rapper image and all that, from you going to being inside? Did she like that? Like, well, you feel like you were like breaking out your shell or something?
I'm not gonna say she liked it or disliked it. Like I said, my mom spent a lot of time working, so a lot of times I didn't really see her too much.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like me and my sister. We had a key to the house since we were 8. You heard me? So we used to get off the bus, go inside. We got hot pockets and shit like that to keep us full, whatever we needed. And like, you know, we stay inside. I go outside and play. And my mom would get home probably like around 8. We home by like 2-3 o'clock, getting off from school. So we had most of the time, like, you know, we were
do what you want to
do. Not do what you want to do, because you know your limits.
Yeah.
You heard me? But spend a lot of time without too much parental guidance.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, so after that happened at 16, how was like did that kind of shake you up, or did you change the way you move around, or?
No, not really.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like the first time you actually got caught.
Yeah.
Because like any other time, like, you know, we'll be like outside chilling in Lewisburg around that time, chilling in the square, and you know, JP, they used to always roll around. They just couldn't catch us. Yeah. You know, that's just the first time actually getting caught up.
Yeah.
My first time going to big boy jail was when I was 17. It was a fight at West Jeff. One of my little partners, he used to always get into it with niggas from stealing their girls. So this nigga always had to fight behind these chicks. So long story short, fight break out after school with 2 dudes from Everett. They came out of school. One dude went to Everett, and it was his older brother. He was like 17. His older brother was like 25. So they come, and my little partner, you know, start fighting. So I wasn't too big on jumping. But around that time, there was an era where if that clique caught you by yourself, you was getting jumped, or vice versa. But my little partner was handling them, so I let him handle it. My other partner, he was on a football team, and the 25-year-old, he wanted to fight, so he started fighting the 25-year-old. He handling him. Let that shit ride. And we had, it was me and another one of my other partners. When the 25-year-old started getting too rowdy, my other partner jumped in. Boom, he started fighting him. Now, the reason why I was so reserved on the whole situation is because I knew both parties.
Oh, yeah.
So the dudes I'm with, like, that's like my brothers. I grew up with them from like yay high, ride or die with them. The other two guys I knew because the dude mama used to braid my hair. So I used to be at these dudes' house, like, like chilling and shit, getting my damn hair braided.
Yeah.
So, I wasn't necessarily going to jump. Now, the part where I jumped was when the fight was over and the 25-year-old walked up to the car and hit my other partner in the mouth with, I don't know, if it was a walkie-talkie, a radio or something, but he clocked the fuck out of him. So when he hit him, I hit him.
Yeah.
When I hit him, the cop was already out there, the police officer that patrolled the school. So he coming over there trying to break all the fights up and shit. And I remember the dude, my little partner, Kyron, he run around the car and he tried to go punch the dude one more time. Then the 25-year-old hit him. Boom. All I see is him drop below the car, then pop back up like he hit a spring. Like he hit the ground, then pop back up. So the 25-year-old backing up from the cop. So I'm walking up to him, then I swing. Boom. I hit him. So the cop grabbed me. So when he grabbed me, he trying to throw me on the car, and he telling me to put my hands behind my back. So, you know how these motherfuckers do. They put your hand behind your back, then they're trying to bend your arm and break your arm. They're trying to exert their force. So I'm telling them he bending my arm too far, so I got small wrists. I twist around, turn around, and face him like, hey, you bending my arm too far. Then I turn back around, put my hand behind my back. He do it again. So I do it again. He get mad. He basically mad at the fact that he can't handle me how he want to handle me.
Yeah.
So eventually I let him put the cuffs on. Long story short, he take me and my partners to jail only because he said that I resisted arrest. But they got two dudes that came from a whole nother school.
Yeah.
One of them is 25 and we all 17, 16. And you gonna let them go and take us to jail? Like, that is crazy.
Yeah.
But that was my first time going to jail.
So you went to JP?
JP. Well, I don't know if that, yeah, it was JP because
how was that? Your experience?
I don't know. Cause me and my partner up in there, like, it's the first time in there, so we don't know what to expect. And it's like, it's just like the holding cell. It's not like you in like population, So we just kind of in there. We talking about this shit, and I don't know. It was like certain experiences you kind of just block out because bad enough you don't want to be in that bitch, but it wasn't like detrimental that time.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it was pretty smooth. Like you in there with somebody you already know you're not gonna be in there
too long
for no fucking long stretch.
Yeah.
Like at first you don't know that, right? When you first go to jail, you like, oh my god, I'm going to jail. But then you get in there and they got some people that's in there that done did this shit 1,000,001 times. And they telling you like, what you in here for? Oh, y'all about to be out in a couple hours, out this and out of that. So some people like, when you first get in that bitch, some people gonna coach you through like, what the fuck it is to be in that bitch and what you can expect and what you gonna go through. And most of the time they got niggas in there fucking Joseph.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing that made it not as bad because I don't remember who was in there. But this nigga was in there josing hard. He had us dying laughing the whole fucking time. So that shit just kind of like passed the time. Before we knew it, our moms was done. We was out that bitch.
That's good.
So yeah, it wasn't that bad.
So then from there, 17, you got your first like official charge.
That's when the shit hit your record.
Yeah.
And it's like once it started, it's like a revolving door from there. Because it's like every cop that pull you over and run your name, they're going to automatically see that you got an arrest record. They're going to see what it was for. And it's messed up because mine was for resisting arrest on the officer. So the first thing they're going to see is like, all right, you've been doing this shit since you was got out of that. When really it wasn't even that deep.
Yeah.
I swung 2 punches out of the whole fight and the officer just got mad because he couldn't bend my arm the way he wanted to bend my arm.
Yeah.
But that black and white says what it says.
Yeah.
Like nobody knows the situation when they read that paperwork. All they're gonna see is what you were charged for, and they're gonna judge you based off of that.
Yeah. So you
like,
caught a lot more charges as you got older.
My rap sheet is extensive.
Yeah.
But it's all like on some faulty shit. Like I ain't gonna say all of them, but I'm gonna say 90% of the things I got arrested for was really on some like circumstantial shit.
Yeah.
It ain't like I was really doing that shit. But
What kind of charges?
Well, I got a lot of marijuana charges. You know, just being caught with minuscule amount of weed, and when they arrest you, they just bulk that shit up and just throw more in there to make sense of the fucking arrest. I got a domestic charge and a child endangerment charge, but that was based off of me actually protecting my child. Me and my baby mama at the time being in a situation to where it was only us three and both of us couldn't go to jail. So me taking a full rap of some shit that I was trying to prevent just so she wouldn't go to jail because she was down here with no family and by herself, and somebody had to be with our daughter.
Yeah.
You know, so got that bogus ass charge.
Yeah.
And then
did you have to do time for that, or did you find out for that too?
Well, for that one in particular,
use my big water bottle.
I was in Plaquemines Parish. So I think I was in there for it was for a couple of days, right? I probably went in there for like a day or two, right? And then they put me on probation, and I didn't pay the probation, and I ended up having to go in for like a week until I got a lawyer. I got somebody to give me a lawyer, and I was able to get out because they're trying to hold me in there for a couple of months. I was in there for like 8 days, and then the lawyer got me.
What's the longest time you served?
8 days.
8 days.
I did 8 days twice, I would say. There was 2 instances where I ended up in jail for 8 days. But that was the longest I ever did. Like, I ain't never did no time. But I have been in situations where I've been in general population. And I've also been in isolation, like in isolation tanks with the dudes who in there that can't even be in a room with nobody else. You know, they all in their own little separate pods and shit.
Why'd you get in there?
Because I had this ring on, and I couldn't get the ring off.
Oh.
You heard me? And it was one of them times I got caught for like a little piece of weed, and they took me to jail. And I'm in there with the ring on, and I couldn't get it off. So they're like, "All right, we got to send you to one of the isolation rooms."
So you can't hurt somebody or whatever.
Well, you can't be in there with shit like that.
Yeah, but I'm saying they do that so you can't hurt somebody else, or they feel like
basically,
you're gonna get yourself.
Basically, it's like a weapon.
So how did you get the ring off?
I didn't.
Don't say like when you got out.
Oh, even at that time, I could have took it off.
Yeah,
you heard me. I'm just fucking prolonging, stalling. Nobody's trying to go in there. I ain't cooperating. Fuck y'all. You heard me. So they're like, "Fuck it, we gonna put you in there with the fucking psychos." So I'm like, "All right, cool."
Yeah,
I ain't tripping. I'm in there by my fucking self. You heard me. Fuck it. There are times that they actually put me in general population.
Yeah.
You heard me? And fuck, it's really no different than being in a holding cell, except that you know with niggas who gonna be in there for a long time. You heard me? So them niggas really just chilling.
How was that? Like, did anybody try to like test you or?
I ain't never had no problems like that because I don't warrant that type of energy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I ain't in there fucking with people. I'm in there really to myself. It's like Soulja Slim bumping in my head constantly. Don't talk to me. Like, I ain't even trying to talk to nobody in there. You heard me? I'm just really chilling. I know I'm not gonna be in there for no long period of time. So really, I'm just fucking.
Yeah, so you ain't trying to get to know people.
I spend more of the time sleeping. I go in that bitch and go to sleep and sleep the whole fucking day if I feel like it. You hear me? So it's really like niggas be saying it's vacation. I'd never want to look at it like that. But at the same time, you know you ain't going to Wells. Ain't much you can fucking do, and I know I ain't gonna be in that bitch for a long time. So
did you like eat and shower?
Nope.
You never ate? I
ate, but nope. Shower, no. I go a week. I'll be out. You fuck. I ain't trying to live with nobody. I'm in that bitch to my fucking self. Fuck that shit.
Nobody said nothing like.
I ain't even trying to get accustomed to nothing like that.
Nobody said nothing.
My body don't really hold order like that. Fuck. I ain't fucking sweating. It's cold as fucking that bitch. You ain't sweating, So it's like, fuck, I'm in that bitch.
Okay.
Fuck. I ain't even trying to talk.
What's the most like memorable thing about jail for you?
Most memorable thing?
Yeah.
Shit.
Like, do it have a smell to you, or was it always like moldy, or?
I don't know. I done been in different ones. Like, I done been in St. Charles shit. I done been in Plaquemines, Orleans, Jefferson, and St. Bernard.
How many times you think you got arrested?
Sheesh. I done probably been arrested. I don't know. Like, you kind of lose track because you don't be like me personally. I don't be trying to remember that shit.
You think it's over 10, 20?
It's probably over 10. I don't think it's over 20.
Okay.
You know, I probably had over 20 run-ins.
Yeah.
But I ain't never got arrested over 20. Ironically, I done got let go more times than I got arrested.
Yeah.
That's based off of how many run-ins I done had.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I ain't gonna say all police are fucked up. Because a lot of times they'll have me down bad and let me go. You know?
Do you want to speak on your last situation?
What was the last situation?
With the THC stuff?
That's when I brought that shit out. Oh, yeah. Brought some weed out the gas station.
I mean, I think it's good for people to know, you know.
No, like, real talk. Buy the shit out the gas station. And I'm at work. I'm in Lockport, Louisiana, and I'm working remotely. So I'm on my way back to New Orleans, and the car that we in ain't got no light bulb over the license plate. So I think it was St. Charles Parish. So St. Charles, they pull us over. He like, yeah, ain't no light on the license plate. I ain't even driving. Somebody else driving. He asked for her license, and he asked for my ID. You hear me? Now, I already know I ain't got to get this nigga my ID. We on a dark road, middle of nowhere. I ain't even about to play no games with these people when I know I got open attachments.
Yeah.
So I gave him the ID. You heard me? And none of the attachments came up. And he like, y'all got anything in the car? Now, I ain't thinking that the fucking shit I just brought from the gas station is going to be considered, like, you know, THC. And he asked, could he search the car? Because he already smelled the shit because we were smoking. So I'm like, fuck, I don't care, go ahead. So he searched it, and he find what he find. And then he said, all right, I'm going to test it. Because I'm telling him, like, go ahead, test it. I brought it out of the gas station. It's good.
Yeah.
Man, he go test it, and he said it came back positive THC or whatever. So they had two other officers that pulled up, and
so how was it like advertised in the store? Is it?
Man, it's at the counter.
Yeah,
it's at the counter right up
both
there.
on, is it the ones that like I don't really be reading it because I don't smoke, but
it's like CBD.
CBD.
It's all right.
Yeah,
all right. They got different ones. Like now they got different ones. They got CBD and they got the THC, but they got different type of THC, like the Delta 8 to Delta 9 type shit, right? So supposedly one of them is illegal for them. I don't know if it's Delta 8 or Delta 9, but one of them supposed to be legal. You heard me? Now, my thing is, yeah, the shit that he tested probably did test positive for THC. But once they send that shit to the lab, they're going to see that whatever strain it is a legal strain that they selling in the stores.
Yeah.
You heard me? How the hell could you sell it at a gas station on plain display if it's illegal?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But long story short, even the lady cop and the other cop that pulled up, they was like, well, why he even asking you for your ID if you wasn't even the one that's driving?
Yeah.
And she like, yeah, they do too much. You heard me? Really, it was like 4 days before Christmas. So he really just looking for a arrest. Now, when he ran my record, he seen that count of marijuana would have been my third count, which would have made it a felony arrest. So he was just going for the felony arrest to hit his quota before the year end.
Yeah.
You heard me? Because even when he taking me back to the precinct, he done called his supervisor. He like, yeah, I got me a F3 or something. You heard me? Like a felony third count, whatever. And he like, well, was he driving? He like, no. What kind? Supervisor asked what kind of car he was in. He was like, yeah, it was a sedan, a Honda, or something like that. He said, you didn't get the repo? He like, nah, he wasn't driving. So I'm like, man, these motherfuckers really be like out here really like, you know, plotting and getting their fucking little trophy cases and shit off of really playing with our fucking lives. Like, this shit is crazy.
So you still battling that right now, right?
Hell no.
Oh, okay.
Hell no. When I went up in there, for one.
So that was recent, or?
Yeah, that was in last December.
Oh, okay.
Like about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So I go up in there, and they held me for like, I think it was like 2 or 3 days. But I know somebody that worked at that particular prison. So they had my paperwork pulled for one, and the judge literally set a court date I got a lawyer, and the lawyer walked in, and everything got dismissed. You know, so basically, it's like he knew he didn't have nothing. He just wanted that on his record as a felony arrest before the year was out. Like really, just playing with people's lives, bro.
Yeah,
that shit crazy.
So, like you said, you didn't ever do like a lot of time, but if somebody was to pull up your record,
you would think that I got the most extensive. Because he told the girl I was with, you heard me? He was like, "That's your boyfriend?" And she like, "Yeah," and he like, "You need to get away from him because he's real dangerous."
Yeah.
If you look at like nigga, you don't even know me.
Yeah.
You looking at all this paperwork and you trying to
resisting
create
arrest, domestic violence,
yeah.
weed.
And I got a felony gun charge. But even a felony gun charge came on a stipulation from the simple fact that was around the time I was on crutches. Like, I couldn't walk. I had just learned how to walk again after being on crutches. And I lived in a bad area. It was a high crime area, so I carried a gun around that time. I ain't never really carried a gun before because I never had a need to. So I'm walking outside to go to the car because I'm about to go smoke with my sister and her boyfriend. And on my way to the car, I see two of my partners across the street. So they walk across the street just to, see how I'm doing, like, man, what's popping, you good, all this, not all that. As soon as I dap them off to go get in the car, a JP roll around the corner and they see me dapping them off. It's like 11 o'clock at night. So in their mind, it was a drug transaction. So they pull us over, like they pull over. And they tell them to get on the car. They don't even tell me nothing, right? And I'm standing there and I got this gun on my hip and I'm on these fucking crutches. And after about 2 minutes of them patting them down and shit, I'm about to just walk the fuck off, but I'm like, fuck, I can't run.
Yeah.
Got a big ass boot on my foot, the other foot shattered. I'm like, shit. So I'm like, fuck it. He like, you got anything on you need to worry about? I said, I got a gun on my hip.
Yeah.
And he reached for his gun. And he like, huh? I said, I got a gun on my hip. I'm like, here, you could grab it if you need to. And he walk up to me. He lift my shirt up. Then he look up at me. Then he shake his head. He look back down. He lift it up again. Then he just grabbed that bitch. And he asked if if it was registered to me and all that kind of shit. Well, I fucked up at. I had a fucking concealed weapon. You heard me? That was the charge that they really hit me with, was concealing it, not necessarily having it. You heard me? If I wouldn't have had it concealed, it'd have been totally different. Yeah. Because the laws were like, you can't have a concealed weapon. So, long story short, this nigga took me to jail on crutches. Yeah. Because I had a nickel bag of weed in my pocket. You heard me? And I had a cigar to go with it. Yeah. I had a keep moving, big ass fat cigar at that time. You heard me? And that bitch was sitting in my pocket. He went in there. He had a cigar and the weed, and ironically, they were gonna let me go. You heard me? Because he already knew I wasn't on no fuck shit. He knew I wasn't fucked up with it. So he was like, he was debating with his partner. But then the lieutenant pulled up. And when the lieutenant pulled up and he seen everything, they were like, we was gonna let you go, but since he pulled up, we gotta charge you. You heard me? So it took me to jail for the little bit of weed and a gun. And they charged it as I had a gun protecting my stash, like I was out there selling drugs or something. So when I get in there, I literally signed myself out the next day. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. I go in on a whole fucking gun charge and was able to sign myself out on my own recognizance literally the next day. Yeah. Without even paying a bond. You heard me? So long story shorter, when I went to court on that charge, the prosecutor herself was like, Judge, it's kind of harsh to try to charge him with a full felony when he has such minuscule amount of marijuana, which is true. So even the prosecutor like, man, y'all tripping. So he let me go ahead, and he was like, look, we'll let you get off. I was facing 5 to 10 years, right? Because that's like mandatory when you carry a gun. They said it was like up to 10 years. But 5 mandatory. So they were like, look, we'll give you 1 year probation if you just take the felony. So that's a fucking no-brainer to me at that time. Yeah. I'm looking at 5 to 10 and you saying I could go home today if I just say, yeah, I'll take the felony and 1 year probation. fuck it.
So you became a
Give me the
convicted
1 year.
felon?
Yeah, that's when I got a felony charge based off of.
How long you been a convicted felon?
Since I was 25, 38, so about 13 years.
Yeah. How's that affected you in life?
Well, it probably affected me most on trying to get loans and shit. But other than that, like as far as like job opportunities and stuff, nah, it don't really affect too much on job opportunities because on certain databases it don't even reflect on. Now, it affected me when I tried to get my TOEIC card.
Yeah.
You know, because it was still within that statute of limitations. But at
So
this
you
point,
can't get expunged?
I could get it expunged.
Yeah.
If I wanted to pay for it.
You don't think it's worth paying for?
Eventually.
Yeah.
But right now, it ain't hurting too much.
Yeah. Well, you say you need the loans?
I don't need the loans, but the loans would be,
Yeah.
you know, who don't want a loan?
Yeah.
My problem is I don't pay them back.
So how do you stay out the way of the cops now? Or that's the last time you got in trouble, which was like, what, 6 months ago, 5 months ago?
Yeah, about 5-6 months ago.
Yeah.
Ain't the last time I got pulled over though.
Yeah.
I got pulled over on the day of the eclipse.
Yeah.
Now mind
Gretna, yeah.
I'm in Gretna. Yes. And the car that I'm in, it got expired brake tag. It got expired license plate. It ain't got no insurance. And I ain't never had a license. Till this day, still ain't got no license. Never had a license. And I get pulled over in Gretna. And I got a hat. And the hat say illegal across the top.
Yeah. For whatever reason.
Man. So, they like license and registration. So I hand them my ID. Like, you ain't got no license? I'm like, no. So they gonna run my ID, long story short. And I got an attachment in Gretna for literally no license, an old no license ticket. So they like
So you just didn't go to court, right? That's why you get the attachment?
yeah, I just didn't go to court. So they like because I ain't never paid none of my fines. I only paid one fine, and I'll tell you why I paid that one. But they like look, you got an attachment, but look, we ain't even gonna take you for the attachment. They like, you ain't got no insurance on the car. They like, we ain't even gonna take you for no insurance on the car. He said, well, we gonna give you a ticket.
Yeah.
And he said, come step to the back of the car for me. And he said, we're just gonna pat you down. He's like, look, you're not under arrest, but I'm gonna read you your rights. You got the right to remain silent, not out of this, not out of that. He's like, now I'm gonna ask you, do you mind if we search the car? You got anything in the car? Like, you know, any drugs, weapons, anything like that? I'm like, nah, I ain't got nothing in the car. Like, you can check. I'm like, just don't trash it no more than it's already trashed. Because that bitch was junky at the time.
Yeah.
And so he checked the car. He don't find nothing. He found a bag, right? And the bag had like some crumbs or some weed up in it. And he was like, I ain't find nothing. He like, I did find like a little baggie, like it used to have weed in there or something. He said, whoever the car for, just tell them to clean out their car.
Yeah.
And he said, call somebody to come get the car to drive it off since you don't have a license.
Yeah.
And he said, have a nice day. And they fucking let me go.
Yeah.
Gretna.
That's crazy, a Gretna.
Fucking Gretna. But only let me know that I feel like they pulled me over for one. I don't feel like they had a valid reason to pull me over. Like when I got off the bridge and I made that right turn, I seen they had a Gretna cop in front of me. And when I made the turn, I noticed they had one behind me. And I turned into the parking lot because I was going, set up to do my little cell thing over there. And they had somebody over there already, so I just drove through the parking lot and came back out on the expressway. As soon as I hit the expressway, that's when the lights came on.
Yeah.
So that means that he must have thought I was trying to dodge him through the parking lot when literally I was about to go park.
Yeah.
So he pulled me over, thinking I was probably trying to hide something.
Yeah.
He like, man, he said, you got this illegal hat on, you just asking for it, huh?
So have you learned anything from riding around with used weed bags or weed or... Since you got a lot of weed charges.
Bro, I got the most weed charges. You think I was Snoop Dogg or something?
You look like Snoop Dogg.
Whatever. But already there at the time, I was going to Arkansas, and I'm working, and I'm on my way out there for work. We on like one of these little dark roads in one of the backwoods of Louisiana somewhere, and I'm speeding according to the cop that pulled me over. I see the lights, I pull over. So at this time, I'm in the Mercedes. They got the lights and all that kind of stuff in it. So he pulled me over, and he like, let me see your license and registration. Now, mind you, even on that car, I didn't have no registration because they took my license plate. I just got into a wreck like a month before that. So I got an in transit plate on there. Mm-hmm. You heard me? And he like, what's going on?
That was
with
like
your
a legal one, or you got that from somebody?
Okay. Somebody I knew had just brought a car from a place, and they had the in transit plate. But you know, the car was so nice, it looked like it could have been in transit. Yeah. So I handed the dude the registration, the old registration, and he like, you ain't got no license? I'm like, nah. He like, what's going on with the insurance? I'm like, no, I had did I have insurance? I had insurance. I didn't have a registration. Mm-hmm. And he like, what's going on with your registration? I'm like, you know, it's complicated. That's what I told him. It's complicated.
Yeah.
He like, all right. I'm like, I'm having problems with it. He said, all right, you ain't gonna have no more problems with it. And he walked back to his car. Then he came back. He like, look. He like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. It's too early for this shit. Mm-hmm. He said, I ain't gonna get your ticket for nothing. I ain't gonna get your ticket for the no seatbelt. I ain't gonna get your ticket for the no registration or the no license. He said, I'm gonna give you the speeding ticket. He like, just pay the speeding ticket online and you're gonna be good for the rest of your duration.
Yeah.
All right. And that nigga said, when you get to the next stop, make sure you get you some air freshener. And he said, have a nice day. And he handed me my shit. And I went on.
Good cop.
Way. Yeah.
Another good cop.
You know, another time on my way to work in Mississippi. And I'm doing 97 in a 75 heading to Mississippi from New Orleans. State trooper pulled me over. I had just brought that car.
Yeah.
And the dealer had gave me some temporary plates to F-150. Mm-hmm. So when the trooper pulled me over, he running the temp plates. He like, first question he asked, where'd you steal a car from?
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I got on a white beater. I'm in a little silver Mercedes. And I got a hat that say, fuck it. Mm-hmm. With my dreads just swinging. My dreads was like down to my waist at that time. I hop out the car. He like, where'd you steal a car from? I'm like, it's my car. I'm like, I just brought it. I'm like, I got the paperwork to prove it because I still had like the bill of sale and everything. Yeah. Luckily, I still had that shit in the car. So when I showed him all that, he was like, all right, cool. He was like, he asked for the license. Of course, I ain't got no license. Mm-hmm. I'm like, hand him my ID. Mm-hmm. Long story short, he was like, look, I'm going to take the plate because the plate is registered to F-150. I need you to follow me to the exit. He said, I'm going to bring you to the gas station, but he said, when I leave, you're supposed to keep this car parked, but what you do is on you. Mm-hmm. Once I'm out of sight, whatever you choose to do is on you. But if you get stopped by somebody else, they probably ain't going to be as lenient. Yeah. He ain't give me no ticket, nothing. He told me park the car.
And took the license plate.
He took the license plate. Matter of fact, I'm lying. He gave me a speeding ticket. Yeah. And no license. Mm-hmm. But he let me go. And I drove the car back to New Orleans and got the plates put on. Then I went back out there. At the time, I'm coming from Mississippi, coming back to New Orleans, speeding again, state trooper, boom, pull me over. Mm-hmm. Same car.
Can't stop speeding, huh?
All right. This time, I'm smoking a cigarette. And I hopped out the car, I'm smoking, and I flicked the cigarette off the bridge. That boy said, you know, that's a $500 fine. I said, what? He said, that's littering. I'm like, oh, I didn't know. Yeah. So he was like, all right, cool, whatever. So he like, you got a license? I told him, yeah. So he went back to his car. I'm like, I ain't got it on me, though. So he went back to his car trying to find my license. He came back. He like, look, be straight up with me. Do you have a license? I'm like, no. He said, you should have just told me that from the beginning and I wouldn't have gave you this ticket. Yeah. You heard me? You done wasted my time and made me go look for something you knew you didn't have. You just told me you didn't have it. I'd have told you to slow your ass down and sent you on your way. But now I'm about to give you this ticket. Yeah. So he wrote me a ticket. Same thing. Told me to follow him to the intersection. Once he leave, whatever. Yeah. Let me go. Nah. This is where it gets sticky with this ticket. And I never went paid it. Like I said, I never paid these fines. So one day I'm out on Bourbon Street and I had just left the strip club and I'm out there with a couple of my friends, a couple of homegirls, and we walk into an art gallery And as soon as I walk into the art gallery, I could see the lady. She look all weird and shit. And she come over trying to talk to us and asking us if we want to, like, you know, talk about the art, trying to explain shit to us. Whole time, this bitch done called the police on us.
Yeah. Why though?
Because I had a hoodie on.
Yeah.
I was with 2 girls at the time, and they got their asses hanging out their shorts and shit, and I just looked like a drug dealing pimp to this white lady or something. Mm-hmm. So she called the police because she said that she seen my hoodie was hanging too low in the front, and we reeked of marijuana. So I did have 2 cell phones in my hoodie.
So she probably thought it was a gun.
She thought it was a gun.
Yeah.
And we did reek of marijuana because one of the girls had a whole half an ounce of weed in her bra. Oh yeah. And as soon as I walked out the art gallery, all I felt was something tight grip around my wrist. Because I got both of these, like we holding hands walking out, and I feel something tight grab around my wrist. So I look, and all I see is this skinny ass white boy looking me in my face. So I'm thinking like he got a blue shirt on. I don't see the little badge thing on the shirt yet.
Yeah. And
he's just like a plain clothes person, right? So I'm about to swing. But before I could swing this arm, I felt another arm grab it.
Yeah.
And I look around and I see a skinny black dude, and he got the same color shirt on. And then it kind of dawned on me, okay, maybe these are
security
undercovers.
Yeah.
You hear me? So they're like, first question they ask is, where's the weed? You hear me? That's the first thing they ask. They ain't like, we outside the door at this point, so I know you don't smell no fucking weed. We ain't smoking no weed, so obviously this bitch called you and told you we must have had something.
Yeah.
So we like, where's the weed? And they keep on looking down at my hoodie, and they keep on kind of like trying to tug on it. He's like, what you got in your hoodie? I'm like, cell phones. Long story short, I did have like a little piece of weed on me again, and I had some wax, and I had a weed pen. These dickheads took me down there, and they was gonna let me go, but I had a warrant in St. Charles for that fucking ticket that I didn't pay when I flicked that cigarette off the side of that interstate. You heard me? So because they had that warrant out, they had to hold me until St. Charles came and got me. They would have let me go. Yeah. You heard me? And messed up part is when they charged me for the weed that they did find, they charged me as if that weed pen, which I know was only a gram of fucking liquid up in there, they rung that shit up as like damn near 100 grams of weed because they weighed the whole pen. Yeah. Along with the tube of wax, along with the little piece of weed I had, to where when I went to court on that shit, they told me I was in the wrong court because I should have been facing federal charges.
Wow.
Long story short, they ordered me to pay a $250 fine. I didn't pay it, but I did leave out saying I would. I didn't pay it, and I got a lawyer, and I paid that lawyer like, I think it was like $700. And this lawyer got all my charges in all parishes dismissed, all my warrants and attachments lifted, and all that shit was over. Yeah. You know. And now I'm back again because of these last couple of tickets.
Yeah. So, yeah, what have you truly learned from your experience?
What I learned is that if you got money, you don't go to jail. How I learned that is from that one fine I did pay. Yeah. I'm in Gretna, and it's in there for, I think it was one of the tickets again. No. It was for the time that me and my first baby mama was down here for Mardi Gras. And I was coming off of Whitney Boulevard and turned on to Gretna. And I had a piece of weed sitting in the ashtray, and I was eating a hot sausage po' boy. And we was coming across Gretna Boulevard on Bell Chase, and Gretna pulled us over, and I had that little bit of piece of weed up in there. I was trying to finish my hot sausage, and they took me to jail for that. No, he wrote me a ticket for that little piece of weed because we was living in Texas at that time. He wrote me a ticket for that shit, and I ain't planning on coming back down here. And we left, and I said, fuck it. And then eventually I moved back down here. But yeah, I went to court on that shit, and they wanted me to pay like, it was like an $800 something fine for all the contempt fees and all that kind of shit. So when I went into the podium, he was like, yeah, you charged with so and so, it cost so and so. Then he said, go sit in the box. I'm like, go sitting up. I'm like, hey, but I got the money. He said, what? I said, I got the money. He said, all right, well, that changed everything. Step back up to the podium.
Yeah.
So I paid him, and they signed whatever they had to sign, and I was set free, and everything was gone.
Yeah.
It was that day that I realized if you don't want to go to jail, you just pay to stay out of jail.
Depending on what the charges.
Really, if you got a good enough lawyer, they could get you anything on any type of payment plan to where they get money out of you.
Yeah.
You stay out of jail. Whether it's on house arrest, you're going to pay to be on that.
Yeah.
Whether you on probation, you're going to pay to be on that. Because you're going to pay to stay your ass out of jail. If you don't pay, then you go sit the time.
Yeah.
You're either going to pay with time or money.
True. So, what message would you have for youth that are running the streets?
Stay the fuck out them people with.
Yeah.
Well, man, what you do is how you do it.
Yeah. True. You have any closing remarks?
No.
No? You think you said enough?
No, I think I said too much.
Well, thank you, KD, for coming on today. And make sure you guys tune in every Wednesday for a new episode, Press One Podcast.
Yeah, what she said.
Peace.